We've got ourselves a lot of heat to talk about, and we really don't get a whole lot of relief as we head into the night. Overnight low temperatures, by the way, in the upper 60s to mid 70s before we get ready for round 2 tomorrow. Northern KELOLAND has been able to largely avoid the heat for now, but tomorrow you get in on it as well. Hot and humid with triple-digit heat coming back again in several locations, and another round of excessive heat warnings for some. We'll go through the details on that and the rest of your forecast coming up, but until then, First at 4 starts right now.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group, KELOLAND News First at 4.
Triple-digit temperatures are bearing down on KELOLAND. We're going to look at how the extreme heat is impacting people and plants.
Plus, classes start in Sioux Falls in just a few days, but the district still needs staff. We'll look at which positions are still open.
And later, we are going to hear from a local counselor who is concerned after a local news therapist was accused of having a sexual relationship with a patient. Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in to First at 4. I'm Don Jorgensen.
And I'm Kelly Volk. Our heat wave has just started across much of KELOLAND, with several cities dealing with triple-digit temperatures.
Yeah, for the very latest, let's get a check on the evening forecast with meteorologist Adam Rutt.
Yeah, we certainly are seeing triple-digit heat in a couple of areas, but more of that is going to be on the way as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. A couple of locations have been, overall, able to avoid the heat, but it's only a matter of time before they also join in. We'll start out west and go to Rapid City, 86 out in Pennington County with a light and variable breeze in place. But once you head over toward, let's say, Winter, for example, then you really start to get in on that heat. 107 right now in Tripp County. That, by the way, is a new record. That shatters the old one of 103 set back in 1976. So 107, that's the new mark to beat going forward. South wind, by the way, at 16 miles per hour. Meanwhile, here in Sioux Falls, 94. The number to beat is 98. So there is still time for that south wind at 16 miles per hour. So we have our air temperatures in the 90s, and yes, some triple digits out there. Valentine at 103, Chamberlain at 98. That, by the way, ties a record high set back in 2003. 97 for Yankton, 93 Spencer, 90 Marshall and Brookings. But you notice up toward Mulbridge, Faith, and Buffalo. That's not bad. They're in the 70s. But like I said, it's only a matter of time for them as well. Take a look at these dew points, though, in a couple of locations in eastern and southeastern KELOLAND. 70s and even a dew point of 81 in Worthington. The end result, very high heat index values. It feels like it's 109 here in Sioux Falls, 111 for Spencer, a heat index of 108 in Worthington, 109 Yankton, 111 Mitchell, 109 in Pierre. And this is exactly why we have these heat advisories in place until 8 p.m. for the Watertown area headed over toward Pierre. We did have a heat advisory for Tripp County. We'll see if that updated to an excessive heat warning, but also for Todd and Millette County, even headed over toward Bennett and Jackson counties. That heat advisory goes in place through the middle of the week. And then there's Tripp County. They join everybody else in pink with an excessive heat warning, rather, through Wednesday night, as we're going to be dealing with this for at least 2 more days. But there is relief on the way later this week. More on that coming up.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Adam. 2 people are facing a long list of charges in Sioux Falls following an alleged assault, crash, and chase. Police say that it started Friday evening along Kiwanis Avenue with a vehicle following another car. At a red light, a passenger got out of the vehicle, pointed a gun at the driver, who he said was following, and took the driver's phone. Later on, officers said that the same 2 men punched and kicked a man and nearly ran over a woman. Around 8:20, police spotted the vehicle in question and tried to stop it. Investigators say that the vehicle drove through an intersection and hit a car, and that driver tried to run away, but the police arrested both men. 31-year-old Brady Cloud of Sisseton and 33-year-old Jordan Cloud of Veblen, South Dakota, both have lengthy criminal records. Police say that there were no serious injuries to anyone involved in the incidents.
5 teenage boys and 3 adults were injured Sunday in a shooting in South Minneapolis, the neighborhood's second mass shooting in just 9 days. Metro Transit police officers heard gunfire and responded to the scene, followed by Minneapolis police. They found 3 boys with injuries to their legs. While officers were treating the victims, another boy approached them who had a wound to his shoulder. As the teenagers were being taken to the hospital, 3 other victims also arrived at the hospital. Police say they found 41 shell casings near where the shooting was reported.
This location has been a hot spot for criminal activity in the past. So we do not have any information to indicate that this would have been random at this time. However, the investigation is in its early stages.
The Minneapolis chief of police says there are 2 suspected shooters. Both were wearing hoodies and ran from the scene.
The new Minnesota State Fair police chief says that safety and security will be his top priority once the fair starts on Thursday. Well, this year, more officers from more agencies will be on the ground.
Reg Chapman with our CBS affiliate talked to the chief about what else is new and different.
This will be my 35th year working for the State Fair Police Department.
Chief Ron Nafla is no stranger to the state fairgrounds. Not only has he patrolled these grounds for decades, he's come to know the people who work here. Protecting them is his job, but is also personal.
We've added metal detectors to what already was there in the past. We've added additional cameras.
Chief Nafla says this year's safety and security budget is more than $5 million, nearly double what was spent in 2019. With that extra money comes more staff, 170 licensed police officers plus 80 officers from local, state, and federal agencies will walk the fairgrounds. New in 2023, Department of Natural Resource officers.
So we're going to use them to help patrol our fence line because they have, let's face it, the DNR gets all the nice toys, right? They have UTVs, they have bikes, so that's really efficient way to patrol the perimeter.
Last year, State Fair saw fights and gunfire inside and outside the gates. This year, enhanced communications from the fair's very own 911 dispatcher will provide cops early warning of any potential issue.
It's smoother flow of information, right? So when the call comes in, the call gets sent to us much quicker that way.
More vehicle barriers, plus undercover officers in place to keep you safe.
You could be in line to get your cheese curds and not know you're standing right next to an officer.
One thing you should know, although marijuana is now legal in Minnesota, you shouldn't bring it to the fair.
You cannot smoke marijuana at the state fair. That is not permissible. Our approach is going to be to educate people that it's not allowed here at the fairgrounds.
Reg Chapman, WCCO News.
And an alert system will also help notify workers of any threats from violence or storms.
Well, last week we reported on a boa constrictor found in a Target shopping cart in Sioux City. The snake, now named Tarjay, will be getting a new home. The 6-foot-long snake was picked up by Sioux City Animal Adoption and Rescue. The organization waited a week for a potential owner to come forward. However, no one claimed the snake. So Professor Dan Vogel with Southeast Community College in Lincoln, Nebraska, made the trip to give Tarjay a new home.
If we keep them in our lab, we'll probably use them for outreach. We have a couple of nights a year where we do family science night. We always like to have some big snakes for kids to come handle, get their pictures taken with. So we'll probably keep them around for that.
Authorities still aren't exactly sure how the snake ended up in the shopping cart in the first place.
I know you're a big animal fan.
Okay.
How do you feel about snakes?
Well, I don't love every animal.
Right. Yeah.
I think if I saw a snake in a shopping cart, I would run out of the store.
You would not take that cart?
I'd probably never return to the store.
Yeah, well, I'm not afraid of them, but, keep my distance.
Yeah.